is server virtualization. Okay, in a server virtualization, what is this server virtualization? Server virtualization enables multiple operating systems to run on a single physical server as highly efficient virtual machines. What is the benefits of server virtualization? Greater IT efficiency, reduce operating cost, faster workload deployment, increase application and performance, higher server availability, eliminate server sprawl and complexity. Okay, so this is the a traditional and virtual architecture differences. If you see, last time I showed a one diagram, right? So it is a physical machine with a hardware, operating system, and applications are running. But here it is, if you look at this virtual architecture, it means you have a physical server, physical resources, virtualization layer, and in the virtualization layer, we create a virtual machines. In each virtual machine, we install operating system and we run the applications. So that is the main part of your server virtualization. But keep goes with the kind of stuff, but we'll start with the explanation of server virtualization. So just for ourselves, guys, even if I unable to complete all the type of virtualizations, I already shared the PPT. So then go through that. What is this kind of stuff will be there, right? What is a server virtualization? What is a network virtualization? Definitions are there. Better go once definitions. If you want to find more definitions and a thing, so don't try on just Google. Go to with VMware related, Citrix related, Microsoft related. So their websites will tell you the different type of definitions. You can tell those definitions by reading it and understanding and make it more neutral statement. Okay. I took a lot of things from the VMware site and Microsoft sites only. What is this meaning? Server virtualization enables multiple operating systems to run on a single physical server as a highly efficient virtual machines. Guys, when you say a physical server, means it's a physical hardware server. A physical server means here it is hardware server it is. For example, tower server. Tower servers are just look like our desktop systems. Our desktop system. So just you can go through any tower server and look at the hardware architecture. You can see it is i7. It is not even that one. So this is given a good PC, but really 10 Pro you will getting 8 GB RAM only. No, that is not a server core. This is a blade server. I mean, sorry, rack server. See, this is a tower server. Okay, so Xeon processor. Can you see Xeon processor? Hard disk, storages, different process sockets, multi-process sockets in the single server, and we can able to customize the server related kind of stuff. So tower servers are generally like this height servers. These are rack servers. Means entire single rack. The entire rack is one single server. Whatever it is, it contains a CPU or CPUs, multiple CPUs or a single CPU, RAM, motherboard, hard disk, okay, SCSI mounts are like this. So this is the tower servers. Okay. So you can look at this is best example for a rack server. So it is so complete one single rack. Tell EMC entire rack is a single unit like this. So 3,56,000. You can see it is components of it, chassis, processors, what type of processor, Xeon processor we use it in that one, which is a variation. Okay. What is giving this processor? If you want to change it, you can change it also. 15 MB cache memory, 2.3 gigahertz processor, 10 cores, 20 threads processor, 10 cores, 20 threads processor it is. And also you are getting 16 GB RAM, 2 RAMs you are getting, quality 2 RAMs you are getting. You want a 32 GB RAM. Okay. If you want dedicated RD, RD RAM means like a RAM having a kind of stuff. You are getting a RAID. Okay, you didn't done a storage, right? So you may not know. Okay, so RAID 1 you can able to implement for 2 hard disk or SSD matching. RAID 1 RAID controller, onboard RAID controller is also there. You want to write 5 controllers, that also you can able to do it. SAS SSDs, if you want to attach, then you can buy it extra. So that's again 1 lakh rupees you will get it. Okay. So BIOS setting, these are including things. So Broadcom NIC. Okay, if you want more NICs, then you have to check it. So this is a customized server hardware kind of stuff. Okay, you want a VMware related what we can say subscription means the software you required install, then also you can buy that one, vSAN related subscriptions. Okay, like this. So this is an internal part of rack server. You can see this for a EMC cooling. Okay, the back side we have a power connection. SMPS inbuilt SMPS will be there, and we can just have to power connection, keyboard, mouse, monitor. One more is there, that is a network connections. Okay, some are inbuilt in fiber optical connections will be there. Okay, so it is enhanced inside the processor, RAM, and everything. We can able to do it and here like this. Okay, the front face is like this. You can open this front kind of stuff, and we can reinsert the hard disk from front side only. Okay, the capacity is 32 core per CPU, 16 GB RAM up to 32 MT, like this is showing. Okay. Okay. So you can remember, normally we use i3, i7, i5 processors, but when you see a processor here, Zen, Intel related one is a Zen processors. Silver processor, gold processor, that is the only difference is how many are there like this. This is 26 cores, 52 threads. Okay, 8 cores, 16 threads. This is 10 cores, 20 threads, 20 cores, 40 threads. Normally i3 having a 4 core, 8 threads. 4 core, latest one is 4 core, 8 threads. Latest i3 processor. i5 6 core processor, i7 6 core processor. It's not much differences. Maximum 8 core processor is there. This is look at, see how much it is. The cost of the processor, will also there, right? The cost of processor is also high. So that's what I am trying to say is, this is a rack server and a heavy build version of the server. Whenever you purchase one server, you don't buy another one because of it is a costly. Okay, it is a very costly. Anything, whether it is a server hardware or basic computer hardware, okay, it is a computer contains CPU, RAM, motherboard, hard disk, SSDs. Okay, like that, connections, power connections. These are things. You can go to blades also if you want to go to buy a blade server kind of stuff. Also, you can buy. Yeah, I used Dell. Okay. See, this is a rack. That is right. These are a racks. When I select a blade, it is showing a racks. Like this is a blade. Means entire rack contains multiple blade servers here. Again, each blade contains CPU, RAM, motherboard, hard disk, power connections are same. So whatsoever it is just a server. Okay, and on a single server, you can run multiple virtual machines. Okay, so why we should utilize? We can do it. So what is the advantage of that one? Is the simplest thing. Every system having a hardware resources, and mainly when you are utilizing for a continuous running kind of stuff, our normal computers won't work, like a i5 i3 processors, Intel motherboards, basic motherboards. These are all for a desktop purpose only, but continuously 24/7 you want to run continuous running servers require a high capacity hardware. High capacity hardware means it is there is a cost is there, right? So I put only three things, whatever it is, I can see. Only three things, including like a motherboard, your BIOS or CFI connections, power connections, SMPS connections. Okay, everything is there. So I remove all these things. Put only one thing, but still hardware means not only this, a lot of other things also available. Okay, so the empty server, it is a very costly. Think like I install an operating system, my server operating system, for example. Okay, I'm utilizing how many services I can run on a single server, maybe a one service or two service or like that. For example, I'm running a DHCP, I'm running a DHCP WDS services, or maybe I'm running a DNS and VPN, or anything like just I'm just examples I'm telling. Active Directory DNS, or maybe I will use DHCP. Okay, DHCP and WDS, or maybe DHCP DNS, like that. So one or two services we can able to utilize, even though if it is a Linux operating system, how much big hardware you have, but in single system we can run one or two services only. Now, for example, I'm running these two services here. Okay, and for these two services, how to purchase another machine, right? How to buy another machine and create a we have a CPU, again RAM and hard disk. Now again I have to install DHCP, WDS, right? How to install OS, like this. Guys, understand? To do certain services I am separating. Okay, now I want to create a web server. For example, now my new requirement is web server. Again I went to buy another machine, again another physical machine, I purchased it. Install a operating system, install a web services, IIS or Apache HTTP or Tomcat, install it. Okay, then I am become a web server, I become a a web server. Again, another client came up. He asking another web server, another web server. Simple. I'm maintaining web servers. Again, I purchase some hardware, operating system, web server 2, web server 1. Again, another web server. Guys, understanding? Different services, different number of servers. I'm increasing. So what will happen if I keep doing like that? Tell me. If I keep doing like this, keep increasing number of physical machines, what will happen?
It will stuck.
But it is?
It will stuck, sir. The system will truck.
Slow, sir.
Slow.
No. I'm not in a one single machine. Yeah, very good. If I run all these servers in single machine, definitely system will be some stacking or not understanding which process, overlapping of process management will be occurs, because process is like in my system, in my operating system handles process in the queue manner, right? So multi-processor, multitasking kind of stuff, it will do it based on a priority. So when this priority will confuse, so obviously there is a conflicts issues, a slowdown or a struck will be occurs. If I run all these services in the single machine, very good. Okay. So to avoid it, what I'm doing is I create a multiple physical machines, multiple servers, physical servers, multiple physical servers. I am using either blade servers or rack servers or a tower servers. Okay, I put a multiple servers like this for running like this. This is a server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4. What will happen if I use a multiple servers? No problem, right? Services will run happily. No problem for the services. Like a no complexity here. So only 2 services here, 2 services here, only one service, only one service is running. So no complexity here. But what will happen if I keep increasing my physical servers?
The price increases.
Very good. Price. The first point is price increases. My company has to invest more money on the infrastructure. Okay, more money on a infrastructure. I have to maintenance cost and price cost, means you have to purchasing cost, maintenance cost in the cost itself, purchasing cost, maintenance cost means you have to go to each and every place, power connections, power supply, you have to give power supply for each machine, power supply, network connections, storage planning, migration plannings, monitoring. These are all comes under operating cost, cost of hardware, cost of operating cost, maintenance cost, space is required, right? So I got a project, but I need a lot of machines, but I have to increase my room space. My server room is not enough now, so I have to increase my room space. More space is requirement, and more space means more security. How to concern security, like a network security, physical security, you have to increase, right? So these are multiple things: maintenance cost, physical machine cost, server cost, operating cost. Okay, space utilization is one thing. Got it the point, right, guys? That's why I told a big story of this one. So here it is. one more thing. So maximum I am using in this server is only web server. Maximum FTP, okay, FTP and HTTP server. That's it. Only that mainly web server only. FTP only for uploading and downloading web pages purpose separately. Okay. So my utilization of hardware is because of my hardware is very powerful. My laptop hardware is 12 GB RAM, but server is 16 GB, 32 GB, 64 GB, 128 GB RAMs. RAM only, not I'm not talking about hard disk. 128 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 32 GB RAM, like that. So my utilization is either 10%, 20% of hardware utilization. Think like this, guys. You purchase a bike or a car. Okay. So for example, your bike in a Corona time, mainly example is best example in Corona time. How much we utilize it? Very less, right? Of course, now we are utilizing more. Why? Because of still we have a fear of public transportation. But in a Corona time, fully locked down, no public transportation, no private transportation. Stay in your home only. Just think you purchase a bike or a car just before a lockdown. When you purchase a bike and you came to home and lockdown is announced, what you do with your bike? Okay, so you can go for a atar or you can go for something also. Now police will catch you. So utilization. Okay, anything you buy that is based on your utilization cost only. You purchase a bike or a car or you purchase a mobile phone or a laptop. If you don't use it or use it, it won't give you any return of the cost by reselling it. Only return of cost, return of investment is by utilizing it. So never utilize more than 75 or 80% of any resources. Never cross the 80%, guys. Never cross 80%. That is the highest limit is 80%. 85 means it's a very peak. 85 is a very peak, not 100%. It is 85 means it's a very peak level. Okay, so 75 is a healthy level. 75 is a healthy level. Okay, so you have to maintain utilize your resources up to 75% of your resource utilization must be there. But this is totally I'm utilizing 10 to 20% of utilization. Means return of the investment also you are not coming, because it's an electronic device. It can be damaged in a few years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years or 10 years. It can be damaged, but you have to utilize better way. So then only how much you are utilizing it is coming. Now 2 points we got it. One is reduce the operating system cost, right? It means physical servers if you keep putting, so that is operating system cost, cost of the hardware, operating system cost, okay, will be reduced. Next, utilization of resources is for increasing purpose. Okay, so what I'm been doing is just if you understand those 2 points, that's enough. 2 points understand, guys. Cost wise, maintenance wise, utilization wise. 3 points totally.
Sir.
Okay. So now we'll go to the server virtualization. So little like that subject only. RAM, hard disk. You put a motherboard if you want it. You put a BIOS or UEFI or a power connection, SMPS. Whatever it is, NIC. NIC is a very important network card. So for me, important is first main infrastructure means CPU, RAM, hard disk. Main infrastructure is CPU, RAM, hard disk. So how this server virtualization concept works? Earlier, for our understanding, I explained about VMware Workstation, but this time it is not a VMware Workstation, guys. It's a Hypervisor. It is a virtualization platform. We install hypervisor, not a operating system. Okay, so it is again hypervisor. Hypervisor is nothing but a virtualization platform. Okay, it is a virtualization platform. It virtualizes your hardware, and run virtual machines on hypervisor. Okay. So and run virtual machines. That's enough. Okay, and run virtual machines. So what is this hypervisor? Again, hypervisor is basically like a OS type only, but kernel and shell. Okay, it contains kernel and shell. If anything contains kernel and shell, it is like a OS only. A lot of people say hypervisor is not a OS. Okay, but it contains a kernel. Then it is a kind of stuff will come up. So mine is hypervisor. OS wise, we can say there is a kernel and a shell is there guarantee, because without a kernel and shell you can't work with your hardware. And the platform means the kernel type of the hypervisor kernel is virtualize your hardware. Okay, hypervisor virtualize hardware, interact hardware. Generally kernel means it interact in en interact with the hardware, it virtualize the hardware and runs your virtual machines, runs VMs. Because of directly. Okay, directly this will take care of, means OS based hypervisors. There is two type of hypervisors are there, type 1 and type 2. This is OS based hypervisors. It contains a kernel. Kernel means it's simply a program. It virtualizes your hardware, interact with your hardware and runs the virtual machines. The shell part for a user provide small user interface. Just small user interface. Now, and also providing web user interface. Web or a web based or a client application based interface. Okay, so you can work with your hypervisor using web based or a client application based interface. Okay, it is a directly provide a small user interface. In direct way, it is a small user interface for login, checking, maintenance, troubleshoot. Actually, that is also we don't do anything. Maintain only we will get a kind of stuff. web-based interface. We work with a web-based interface. So I will give you one example, guys. Look at here. This is my VMware vSphere. Look at here. What is the interface you are seeing? This is the operating system interface. Normal operating system having a tabs, kind of stuff is there. It does not contain anything. It is showing an IP address, and it is showing some IPv6 IP address and IPv4 IP address, and it is showing it is a 2 processor, 4 GB RAM. 4 GB RAM is minimum requirement. So ESXi version 7.0. This is the hypervisor. Okay, and you want to do anything, just go to F2, login as a root, then you'll get a small interference like this. See, it is, you'll get it. You can change the password. Okay, you can change the password if you want it. You can manage the network. Sorry, you can manage the network. You want to change IP address, host name, IPv6 address, kind of stuff. You can restart the network, test the managed network. Okay, only managed network, only one only. I have 4 NICs, but only one NIC information only display. Managed network interface only it will show. Network restore options, keyboard system, configuring options, configuring keyboard, troubleshooting options, system logs. You can see what is going on with your system logs. Okay, view support information, reset system configuration, reset system configuration. So this is customizing system. Okay, so it does not contain any other kind of stuff. CLI support is there. That is also basically what is going on. You can see it. Just escape to enter to change, escape to log out. Okay, so if you want to shut down, F12 to shut down, or a restart option will be there. Okay, so F12, you want to shut down it, then login like this. You want to shut down means F2, F4 means, F11 means restart, F2 means shut down, and escape means cancel. Okay, so this is the your hypervisor interface. Hypervisor, direct small user interface for logging, checking, maintaining, and troubleshooting kind of stuff only. All remaining things we do with a client apps or a web interfaces. Guys, it can be anything. Hypervisor can be anything. Just for example only, I'm showing VMware vSphere. Look at here. Yeah, this is a VMware vSphere client for a 5 and 5.5, not for 6. It's a client app only. Still, I'm keeping in my PC because I'm not using 5 or a 5.5. Okay, so beyond means from 5.5 and beyond means 6, 6.3, 6.7, 7, 7.1, 7.2 kind of stuff. It's a web client only. But here it is, you can put a, if it is using 5 or 5.5, okay, or a vCenter, you can log in from here. Give the IP address, username and password, login. So you can log into your remote server. You can log into your remote server and you can manage from this terminal. You can manage from this terminal. That is one interface. Another interface is web interface. Look at here. This is the IP address. It is showing. This IP address is assigned by DHCP server only. Actually, we have to use manual IP address. This is just a class, no problem. Okay. HTTPS colon slash 190.168.0.114, right? HTTPS slash 190.168.0.114. Okay. So your connection is not private. Why? Because of HTTPS I'm using. So it is authentication difference will come up. So advance, proceed. even unsafe, but it is trusted. I know these services. Okay, this is a VMware resource. Login as a root. Look at here. This is my VMware vSphere server interface. Okay, so look at here. Physically, the physical server interface is very less. Physical server interface is nothing, even though you cannot create a virtual machines here directly, but we can do create a virtual machines, managing virtual machines, managing storages, managing switches, everything we can do it from the web interface. Anything we can do it with the web interface. Guys, understand? So your hypervisor is not a full-fledged operating system. It is a kind of minimal type OS. Minimal type OS. OS based hypervisors is like a we install directly on physical hardware, like OS installation only. OS based hypervisor. Why I said OS based hypervisors? Because of we are using apps, that is hypervisor application. Okay, so it is a hypervisor directly we install in a hardware, like you install a OS in the hardware. Okay, that is the first one. Now different type of hypervisors are there, guys, that is we required. So different type of hypervisors. Look at here from Microsoft. Okay, always first Microsoft Hyper-V. Hyper-V server is there. Okay, Hyper-V server is there. So Windows server, this is comparison, evaluation like this. Okay, so when you are trying to download your 2019 or 2016, okay, you can see the description. Go to description part like this. No, you can go to down Hyper-V server 2019. Okay, Hyper-V server 2019 or a Hyper-V server 2016, Hyper-V server 2012 or 2 Hyper-V server 2012. These are all direct hypervisors. You can go to the descriptions. You can also read. So what is the use of this one? So you will get a Hyper-V role in a Windows Server 2019 server, but here it is a directly a machine it is. Okay, so go to this description and a prerequisites and try yourself. I'm not doing that. Okay, next VMware. VMware is an organization like a Microsoft. vSphere is a product, and ESXi, it is also sometimes named as ESXi, is a hypervisor platform. ESXi is a hypervisor platform. Okay. Next, Citrix. Citrix is also an organization. In Citrix, the product is Xen Server. Xen Server. The virtualization server name is Xen Server. Xen Server. Proxmox. Proxmox is another organization providing Proxmox V virtualization environment. So Proxmox is a open source. It's a open source virtualization platform to utilize Hyper-V, vSphere, Citrix paid versions. This is a open source version, means you can utilize freely, no support is provided, and also you can develop. You can give a community development support also you can able to give. Proxmox. Okay, so Proxmox is an organization. It is having so many other things. Okay, backup servers, mail gateways, virtual environment. So you can it is a community related kind of stuff. Anyone who interested into download, then you can do it. It's like a virtualization related one. You can download it freely. No need to buy, no need to any other kind of stuff. Just freely you can download and you can install it. It is see, it's a KVM based hypervisor. It's a complete open source server management platform for enterprise virtualization. Okay, it is tightly integrated KVM hypervisor, Linux, containers, LXC, software defined storage, and networking functionality on the single platform. With the integrated web-based user interface, you can manage VMs and containers. High availability for clusters or integrated disaster recovery tools with ease. Okay, so anybody have take a course of VMware, vCenter kind of stuff, you know, Proxmox for easy to practice because of we have a limited hardware resources. Okay, you can easily download it from here. Okay, I put that link. So if you want to study, then you can try from here. Okay, so that is one thing, Proxmox. Okay, so not only these guys, hypervisors. Yeah, this it. Maybe one or two. Maybe I will missing, but these are without any separate operating system. What I'm trying to say, without any separate operating system, you are getting hypervisors. You are getting hypervisor without any additional operating system with it. So alone hypervisor server. Okay, the latest version you can able to see from here directly what is the latest evolution version. So you can see 2019 is the last, 2022 hypervisor is not yet released, so maybe it is different, I don't know. So this is a mostly I know is a 7 version only, 7.0.2 kind of stuff, one kind of stuff is there, so I use a 7. Zen server I don't know, so Zen server again you have to check it, maybe 7.1 it is showing. Proxmox also find it what is the latest one. Okay guys, so this is about the different type of hypervisors. What is the use of these hypervisors? You can create a virtual machines in your server. So when you say a server here, the server is physical on physical server or a physical machine. When you install a hypervisor, it is a become server virtualization server. You can create multiple virtual machines as per your requirement. That is enough, because I have to write so many things, right? So I like this. In a single physical machine, you create a multiple virtual machines, and each machine you can put a different type of services. For example, this is a DHCP server. This is a WDS. Maybe because this is a web server 1. This is a web server 2. Maybe I'll create another web server 3, FTP server. Okay, like that. multiple servers or multiple different operating systems, Linux, Windows, Windows 10, Unix, any different type of OSs I can run. In that one, I can install operating applications or services. Okay, I can run it. Okay, so in a single machine, by installing hypervisor, I can able to run virtual machines. Okay, so what is this hypervisor? The hypervisor make your virtual machines run virtual machines directly on the physical hardware. Run directly on the physical hardware. No secondary translation kind of stuff. No other kind of stuff. To do that one, anyway, your hardware must be enabled with the virtualization. In the BIOS, you have to enable virtualization technology enable, which is you already know, okay, how to enable kind of stuff, right? Here it is. Better to check in your system how to check in from our system how to check it. So go to performance in the task manager, go to CPU, find is virtualization is enabled. If it is not enabled, go to BIOS and enable virtualization. That is important. Next, Hypervisor runs virtual machines on the hardware directly. We are not utilizing any other operating systems or operating system services or applications on the hardware. Okay, we run applications inside a hardware only. So this is called a server virtualization. When you say server virtualization means in a single server you're running multiple virtual machines. Guys, again, OS running in the virtual machine, OS running in the virtual machine, okay, is called guest OS. In a single physical machine, we can run multiple guest OS. On the guest OS, you can run multiple applications. Next, we do not have any separate operating system or a application environment to interact with the hardware. So that's this type of hardware. This kind of virtualization is we call it as a bare metal virtualization. Okay, we call that one as a bare metal virtualization. What is bare metal virtualization? It is virtual machines interacting or running directly on the hardware because of that hypervisor, not through some operating system, not through some applications. Directly we can run it. This type of virtualization we call it as a type 1 virtualization. In the server virtualization, this type of virtualization we call it as a type 1 virtualization. Type 1 virtualization supported is from Microsoft, the Hypervisor server. Again, I'm repeating, guys. Just I'm telling one by one point. Okay. From VMware, vSphere. Again, what is the difference between vSphere and ESXi? Okay, that's the question will be there. So vSphere is a product, ESXi is a platform, means hypervisor is ESXi, vSphere is just a product name. Okay, VMware is an organization. Citrix is also an organization. Zen server is a hypervisor. Proximox, which is open source, open source virtualization hypervisor. So these are all comes under type 1 virtualization. Type 1 virtualization means without any operating system or an application. So machines directly interact with the hardware. That is a type 1 virtualization. So there is a small block of virtualization part, and second type of virtualization is there. So that block I will write under this kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, I told a block of virtualization is there. So again, I will write here. It is also a type 1 virtualization, but along with the OS. This one is also considered type 1 virtualization. It is also considered as a type 1 virtualization with OS, means it is a feature of a OS. Okay, so it's a type 1 virtualization, means bare metal virtualization only. It is a bare metal virtualization only. The hypervisor is bare metal virtualization only, but it is a feature of OS, means along with operating system you are getting. Yeah guys, one point I'm missing here, so I will add that point. So here it is. Again, Microsoft Hyper-V. Again I'm telling, Microsoft Hyper-V is a feature inside. Next, in a Linux or Unix environment, Qemu. Yesterday I told, remember? Forget. No one is there that time. Linux virtualization, KVM, Qemu, Linux virtualization. You can look at here. This is the Linux based virtualization environment. That's why yesterday only I told, because we don't get a time today. Okay. So we are not successfully created any virtual machine in that one. Again, I'm telling Microsoft Hyper-V. That is, I will tell you in afternoon separately how to install Windows 10 and this one. I will give you information now only. So Linux, Qemu, KVM environment. So along with operating system, you'll get this kind of virtualization platforms. Okay. Next, I said I forget something here, right? Add. Don't worry, guys. If I missing something, still no problem, because it's there. I covered in a PPT. The PPT is a mixed PPT. Most of the things I gather, I typed it, I painted it, kind of stuff is also there. Red Hat. Normally Linux, Red Hat kind of stuff is KVM kind of stuff is there, no? So that is Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization. Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization comes under type 1 virtualization only. Generally, no one will ask that point, but what are the type 1 virtualization? Hyper-V, VMware, vSphere, Zen Server, Proximox. Guys, in interview also, some people ask where you install a Windows 10, where you install a Linux. You said VMware. Don't say VMware, guys. You install a VMware, sorry, you install Linux, Windows 10, Windows servers, and in VMware Workstation 16 Pro. Okay. If you say I installed in VMware, I know VMware means you know VMware ESXi. You know VMware ESXi. Understand? Okay. So when you say I know VMware means it's a VMware vSphere. You use VMware hypervisors along with the OS. It is also called as things. Okay, it is a here it is hypervisors, not applications, as features. OS, not as application, separate application. Okay, not a downloading part kind of stuff. Okay, you can't download anywhere. So look at here. So first of all, from Microsoft, again, Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a feature from 2008, 64-bit server onwards, Windows Server onwards. The most it is available 2008 part2, it is there 2012 R2. Here are 64 direct bits only. 2016 2019 we have a Hyper-V as a feature or a role. Of course, not finished the list. Windows. Some people tell virtualization is introduced in Windows 7. Of course, that kind of part. But Hyper-V not in Windows 7. Guys, I never seen Hyper-V in a Windows 7. Maybe in a Windows 7 service packs are different. Okay, so that's important. So difference between service pack 1, service pack 2 is different. So whatever it is, Windows 8, 8.1 and Windows 10 Pro or enterprise version. There is a difference is there. So 64-bit, okay, you can create, run VM in PC. 32-bit can access remote VMs. Meaning is, if you are a 64-bit Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, either Pro or Enterprise editions, you'll get a Hyper-V feature. Okay, Hyper-V feature. Next, if you are a 64-bit, then you will get a platform. So you can create a virtual machine, run virtual machines in your physical machine. Okay, but if you are a 32-bit Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Pro or Enterprise, you will get Hyper-V feature, but you cannot create and run the virtual machine in your PC. You can only access the remote virtual machines, remote server. Okay, you can manage remote Hyper-V servers. Okay, Hyper-V servers you can able to manage. That's a very big one. Next, guys, when you go to the Linux base, means Enterprise Linux 6, Enterprise Linux 7, kind of stuff, Red Hat 6, Red Hat 7, kind of stuff. You'll get a platform called Qemu. So this is the main part of, along with operating system, we get a hypervisor features, not as a applications, not as a applications. So along with operating systems, directly we can access along with the OS, like a, so hypervisor as a feature is along with operating system, directly you can create. Okay, hypervisor, I will tell directly, hypervisor as a feature directly feature in with OS, operating system, like a Hyper-V or a KVM kind of stuff. What manager, okay, managing is what manager, what install, what viewer, use that kind of commands for this one, right? So like that. So as a feature, so directly we can create, manage, run virtual machines in our PCs. Okay, so directly we can interact with the virtual machines. We can run the virtual machines. We can create a virtual machines in our in the PC, in our PCs. Okay, directly we can able to run, create a virtual machines. We can run the virtual machines. We can manage the virtual machines. That is called a Hyper-V as a feature. It's a type 1 virtualization type only, but comes with operating system. This is not comes with any operating system, itself act like a operating system. This is another kind of Hyper-V. Next, Hypervisor application. So don't worry guys, I will stop here. Hypervisor application. Okay, Hypervisor applications is like this. VMware Workstation, VMware Workstation, Oracle, VirtualBOX, Microsoft. Now it is not there, guys. Virtual PC. It is there only up to, it is works only on a Windows XP, Windows XP, Vista 7, up to 7 last. Up to 7 it is last. Okay. So Microsoft Virtual PC, old version. VMware Workstation, VirtualBOX. What is the latest version? 16 Pro. 16 Pro, 16.02 or 16.2 something is there. So how to know what is the version of that one? About VMware Workstation. Help about VMware Workstation. I am using 16.1.1. You may get a 16.2.1. So you have to check it yourself. Okay. 16 Pro I am using. Oracle VMware VirtualBOX. This is also an application. You can see this is an application. Here also you can able to create a virtual machines. Okay. Next one is this kind of stuff. So these are a hypervisor applications. So to run, first of all, you have to run this applications, right? To run application, what we require? What we require? Operating system, Windows or Linux operating system. So guys, this is the layer wise. Again, look at here. I'm writing in this manner. Okay, look at. I will cut this small part because I need a space. Okay, along with the operating system. So that's the point. This is, look at, this is my machine. Okay, my physical machine. Machine means you will get a CPU, RAM, hard disk, yeah, motherboard, SMPS, NIC, like that. So many other things also there. Okay. Okay, whatever it is, this is my hardware. And I have a operating system. I have a operating system. Operating system can be a Windows operating system or a Linux operating system or Unix operating system or a Mac operating system. Okay, so I have a operating system in it. Next, in a certain operating system, along with operating system, you will get a hypervisor like this Hyper-V or Linux like a KVM, QEM, kind of stuff. You will get it. So you can utilize your utilization. You can use this one. That is also okay. But here it is little different. What it is? I have an application. Okay, this is a application. Hypervisor application, not as a OS. This is hypervisor application. Using this hypervisor application, I am creating virtual machines in my machine. Okay. So I created a virtual machines in my machine using a application. Like currently, I'm using my VMware, right? Currently, I'm using my VMware workstation to run multiple operating systems in my PC. Okay, guys, understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
here it is. We have an operating system. On operating system, application is running. Using this application, I am creating virtual machines. Okay, these virtual machines, okay, running on the hardware through this application and operating system. Without operating system, application won't run. Without application, virtual machines won't run. Okay, so this type of virtualization, we call it as a type 2 virtualization. Guys, understand type 1 virtualization and type 2 virtualization? Server or a desktop virtualizations, this is a two type of virtualization. So type 1 virtualization is a bare metal virtualization. So there is no operating system. Virtual machines directly run on a hardware with the help of hypervisor installed on it. So hypervisor directly installed on hardware. Here it is hypervisor not installed on hardware, hypervisor installed on operating system. It running with the operating system. That is called a type 2 virtualization. So different type of type 2 virtualizations are from VMware. Again, tell me, VMware Workstation. Guys, always whenever the question comes up, so what is the virtualization, which VMware you are using? Which VMware you are using? VMware Workstation 16 Pro. Okay, like that. Next, Oracle VM VirtualBOX or Oracle VirtualBOX. Any name is okay. Okay, from Microsoft Virtual PC. So currently in the market, these are only there, but Virtual PC is a old edition. Okay, so this is belongs to it. Okay, I didn't put a diagram for this type of virtualization kind of stuff. Okay, this is this type of OS. This is this type of OS. It is. So along with OS, I didn't told, but how it is look like. Simply like this is the hardware. Okay, this is the hardware. This is OS. OS interact with your hardware, right? So this, for example, I'm using Hyper-V. Hyper-V is having its own space. It interacts with your hardware directly. The feature came with your operating system, but it runs directly on the hardware. Runs directly on the hardware. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Okay. Here it is. Application runs on operating system. Application provide hypervisor feature, means virtualization feature. So then based on that, virtual machines are running. So this is about your server virtualization. To run hypervisor application, we require operating system. Okay, so this is a hypervisor applications. This is a along with the operating system, what kind of hypervisors we are getting, what are their feature kind of stuff. And this is hypervisor OS type, means OS type, guys, it is not operating system, but we can able to install directly on the hardware. Okay, 1, 2, 3 points are completed. So there is a few more things are there. So here it is. We can create and run virtual machines using application. Okay, application runs on OS with the help of OS, runs on OS. Okay, so whatever it is called as Type2 virtualization. And here it is, a start point is there. This type of virtualization, this method of virtualization comes under desktop virtualization. So what is a desktop virtualization? A desktop virtualization is in a single PC. Okay, what is a desktop virtualization? In a client computer, a client can able to create and run the virtual machines in his desktop. A client means a user can able to create and run the virtual machine in his desktop. That is called a desktop virtualization. That is called a desktop virtualization. Means I'm a user, I have a computer, I can able to create a virtual machines in my desktop. So that is called a desktop virtualization. So this type of virtualization is also called as desktop virtualization. Guys, difference between type 1 and type 2. Type 1 virtualization is a pure form of server virtualization. Type 2 virtualization is like a desktop virtualization. Type 1 virtualization is a bare metal virtualization. Type 1 virtualization is a bare metal virtualization. Hypervisor directly installed on the hardware. In type 2 virtualization, hypervisor not installed on the hardware. Okay, hypervisors comes with the application, Type 2 virtualization comes with the application. So when you install an application, run the application on your operating system, the hypervisor will work. So on the application, using that application, we create a virtual machines and we interact the virtual machines directly like this. Okay, in a type 1 virtualization, we cannot interact with the virtual machines directly from the physical machine. Okay, but how to interact with the virtual machines or how to create a virtual machines through remote only. So where it is my remote? Yeah, there somewhere I log in. Yeah, here it is. From here only you can able to do it. Guys, understand up to here? I will tell only 2 points, then I will close for now. I'm also getting angry. Understand difference between type 1 and type 2?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Got it right?
Yes,
So
sir.
type 1 bare metal virtualization, type 2 is application based virtualization. Okay. Last picture. All are pictures only. Okay. If you miss something, guys, here it is. The picture is here. Okay. Same picture only. Okay. This is I written this picture. This is copy paste. Again, I've written this picture. This is the picture I'm going to explain now. Look at here. Guys, as I said, in a server virtualization, again, okay. Guys, lot of people think when they're listening, I'm telling something, but it is look like something nonsense. Okay, everything is same, guys. Everything is only the names are different from one technology to another technology. You want to work with the cloud, you want to work in a data centers, understand virtualization, understand server, understand, yeah, so what are the basic hardware layer. Server virtualization means we have a hypervisor. Hypervisor can be anything, right? Can be a VMware, vSphere, or it can be a Microsoft Hyper-V, Proxmox, or a RHEV, like that. So it can be a hypervisor. Guys, I want to interact with this machine. I want to interact with this machine, and I want to create a virtual machines. How to do it? I already told. So through the network only. So we cannot access directly, physically. We can't interact with a server. If you interact also, nothing. Okay, you'll get a nothing like this. Okay, you have to interact from remote desktop. So here it is. You have to utilize. Okay, so you have to use client application like a VMware vSphere client application, Xen Center. Okay, so here it is, VMware vSphere client. For Xen, it is a Xen Center. Yeah, for Xen Center. Xen server is server for like this Xen Center kind of stuff. Okay, like that. For a Hyper-V, if you are using Hyper-V, Hyper-V client only, Hyper-V manager. Okay, or a Windows admin center. Now it is new one for 2019. For 2019 Hyper-V, you can use Windows admin center. Okay, it's not always. So that's we put some star kind of stuff. Okay, so here it is. Different type of tools are there for directly application tools. Okay, next one, web client. Okay, client applications. Next one is web client kind of stuff. How where to write a web client kind of stuff? Yeah, client applications, directly client applications are this one. Web clients, I will write here. Okay, web clients for everything. Web clients only here, so not required to write, right? So web clients using a HTTP protocol we are using. So HTTP, yes, or HTTP//IP addresses. Very simple. Okay, very simple. Nothing more. IP address. Okay, even a Xen Center. Okay, Xen Center, VMware vSphere, or a Windows admin center. Let's say given a that kind of stuff. here. Okay, I put a star mark. Why? Because of Windows Admin Center, not a direct tool. It is a web client. It is a web client. Another web client is Windows Admin Center kind of stuff. Again, they put a star. That's usage is different. Say this is web client. Guys, understand how to interact with your remote server like this. This is the web client. So you can manage from the host, like what is the host, whether it is on, how much RAM is there, how much CPU is there, okay, how many virtual machines are running. Okay, you want to delete a particular virtual machine, you can delete it. You want to create a new virtual machines, you can create it from our. Okay, you want to manage the storages, you want to manage the networking, you can do it from the web clients, or you can do it from the client application. Understand this point or not? Guys, understand or not?
Yeah, sir, got it.
Got it, right? Okay, then. So last one in this part. So afternoon, I will show you vSphere. Actually, I want to show you vSphere now, but we don't have a time. So we'll see that one first. vSphere, in that one, now we'll see other virtualization. There only I will show you both the things. Now server virtualization is that one. So once environment I will show you. Okay. So guys, this is a client, means a user is a normal user, and this user required a virtual machine. So this user is a person in this computer, in his computer. Guys, understand, this is the user. This is the user. He required a virtual machine. He required a virtual machine for running his own application. For running his own application, he need a virtual machine. So what he will do? Understand the process, guys, because already I told ITIL, incident, change, request. So like that, he will raise the request to the admin. Admin sitting at this. Okay, so admin is login to server. So user send a request, I want a virtual machine. Admin log into the server and he create a virtual machine. He create a virtual machine. Understand?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, here is a user. User required a machine. He's telling, I want a virtual machine with a one virtual CPU. So one CPU, 2 GB RAM. Okay, he's a very good person. So 2 GB RAM is required. Okay, maybe 40 GB hard disk is required. So this is his request. He can't create. He don't have any permission to access the server. What he will do? He send a request to admin. Admin take the request through the requesting tools or email or telephone like that. So this is the admin. Admin sitting in administration kind of stuff, right? Like this. Admin sitting in the interface, log into server, create a virtual machine, 1 CPU, 2 GB RAM, 1 CPU, 2 GB RAM, 40 GB hard disk, create a virtual machine. We created a virtual machine here. Now, user has to access. user has to access this particular virtual machine, not a server. He's not accessing, like I can't give the this interface to normal user, right? He want to get virtual machine, not but access this virtual machine here, not a server. How user can able to access virtual machine? Last one, please tell me how you access a remote machine. Okay, how to access a remote machine. Tell me, if it is a Linux machine, how you access? I have a Linux machine in my network. You want my Linux machine?
Putty, sir.
Very good. Putty. Why it is showing like this? Okay. Putty means SSH or telnet, protocols like a telnet. Very good. If it is a Windows machine, then which protocol use it? I have Windows server is there. Okay, you required a Windows server. I created Windows server for you. But how you access? Remote access. RDP. Okay, Windows system we use RDP. Why it is always yellow color? Why? RDP. Remote desktop protocol. 3389 SSH 22 telnet 23. Okay, remote protocols. Putty is an application. SSH is a protocol. Telnet is a protocol. RDP is a protocol. Okay. How to open RDP? Microsoft Terminal Server Connection in the run command. So go to run mstsc. So this is the remote desktop connection related window. So here we have to give the IP address or a host name, username and password. So I can able to log in. I can view their desktop and manage the desktop. VNCs, different VNCs are there. Real VNC, Tiger VNC. Different type of VNCs are there. So you can utilize any kind of VNCs as per your requirement. Okay, so this is very important things, remote access related. Of course, PowerShell. Through PowerShell also we can able to access. I didn't tell you so which machine it is. I'm telling it is a machine, depends upon operating system, depends upon the protocols enable, access protocol enable, so you can able to access. So it can be usually like a application putty, and the using putty through you can connect SSH, telnet kind of stuff. So that is the one thing. RDP, remote desktop protocol, PowerShell, VNC type of applications you can use it to access. So for user access, remote access protocol. For admin access, either it is a client applications or a web client kind of stuff. For example, if it is a Proximox, VMware vSphere, like that. So we use kind of web applications. Depends upon what type of server virtualization you are using. Okay. Access hypervisor server. How to access? You get a client applications like a VMware. The old version support up to yeah, you can relax 5.5, 5 and 5.10. That is the last, no 6. Support display vCenter versions like this. Next, Microsoft. We don't have a choice. Hyper-V, we can able to access with the Hyper-V manager. Remote array directly. Direct array remote. So we need a Hyper-V manager. Servers kind of stuff. Remote kind of stuff. Windows admin center. Web access it is. Okay. Next, web clients through HTTP or HTTP. Yes. Okay. IP address. Web browsers. Web client means use web browser. Protocols like a HTTP, HTTPS. User access, meaning is remote access to virtual machine, not a server. Okay, we use SSH, telnet, RDP, PowerShell. PuTTY is kind of application for SSH, telnet. VNC is a application, different type of VNCs, real VNC, Tiger. That's it, guys. This is all about your server virtualization. I think some of you already did, no problem for me. Okay, that's it. And be back at 3 o'clock. Okay.
Okay, sir.
3 o'clock, I will show you other virtualization, and also I will show you other things.